Now we get to make your grand entrance.
Well, welcome to the house. Welcome. I'm just over opening the door for you. See, before we start with that, we're going to do things how you probably would do it if you were going to have someone coming over for dinner. So probably the first thing you want to do is the thing that's going to take the longest to bake.
Yes.
So I think we should start with carrot pesto bake. What do you think?
Carrot pesto bake. I think that's a great idea. And if I could make a quick admin announcement for everyone in our chat, we're going to just go ahead and put everybody on mute if that's okay with you all. And if you want to raise your hand and ask a question, we would love to unmute you and have you do that. Otherwise, feel free to enter a question into the chat. Sarah will be fielding those questions and asking them out loud for you, just so we can make sure that we can and get that answer. Okay, so feel free to ask anything while we're chatting. Otherwise, we're going to take it away with carrot pesto bake.
Okay, so carrot pesto bake. This is kind of like a vegetarian lasagna.
Vegetarian lasagna.
But with a little kick up. Right, a little something better than someone's going to always. Someone's at the door. It's always fun at the beginning of a party. People are just showing up, and you're kind of catching people up as to what's going on.
But yes, and if there's questions throughout, don't hesitate to put something in the chat, like I said before.
Okay, so this is a really nice twist on a vegetarian kind of lasagna, nice, warm, and cozy. But I'm also going to tell you this. This eats very well at room temperature.
Ooh.
And even slightly chilled. So it can be a really good summer
or good for a party.
Absolutely. You can make it the day before, refrigerate it, bring it back to room temperature, and then the next day just slice it up and you didn't really have to cook, but they don't know that, right? So, okay, so what you're gonna want is like a 9 by 12-ish dish. This one's a little smaller, but it's gonna be working out just fine. And what we're going to do is probably let's start with our cream sauce. And do you think?
I think cream sauce.
So we're going to remote right away.
Right away.
We're going to remote right away with the camera here.
Okay, we're going to
go over to the stove. Everyone's favorite place to cook. So we've hooked this up a little bit so that we can actually like show you what we're doing on the stove. Come on over, Kim. So for this, we got all these fun preps here. We need butter and we need garlic. And we're going to need some seasoning. So we're going to melt the butter. That makes for really good video, melting butter. It's kind of like watching
it does.
Right? So there are a lot of different ways to make cream sauce. You can do it with cheese or without. You can do it with flour or without. I tend to make mine usually with a little bit of flour, so I'll go the fat and then the flour. But Ethan actually made this cream sauce for me earlier, and it was really tasty. So we're just doing it his way, which lets the cheese. It's a Parmesan cheese, which is starched, so it will actually thicken up into a really nice sauce for it.
So any bag Parmesan cheese will already have the starch. It's to keep the cheese separated in the bag, so it doesn't get all clumped together. So.
And this is shredded Parmesan from like Target that we're using. So easy, pre-bagged shredded Parmesan.
So we threw a half a stick in the pan, correct?
Yep.
And we're getting it melted, and then we'll be adding in next.
I don't know. What did you put next? The garlic.
The garlic.
Right.
Oh, let me switch back for you guys.
Yeah, you gotta see the garlic getting cooked here. This is yum.
Garlic going in.
And we did hook up the smells for you guys too, so you can smell the garlic.
Smell-o-vision.
Yeah, smell-o-vision. Here, I know I had one of these sitting out for you guys. It's gonna be much easier for getting stuff out.
And we just pre-minced that garlic, so it's not anything fancy.
We're going to show you garlic here. People have no idea how to handle avocados and garlic. It's just a mystery to them. So,
Kim, you're doing a great job.
All right, what do we next, Ethan?
This is our nutmeg, salt, and pepper.
So it's about, I'm going to say, this is really to taste. I like a lot of spice in mine, so I'm going to say this is probably half a tablespoon of nutmeg and about equal parts of that with fresh pepper, fresh ground black pepper. Oops, someone else wants to join us.
Well, not only that, I know we're giving you guys kind of a rough estimate, but we're going to be sending the recipes out here. You'll see an email from our service email and Ethan, just with all the recipe links, so you guys can make this. Right now, we want to kind of get for you the general theme of how to make it, so you can see it and replicate it, because I find that's a lot easier. Oh, look what's going in next. Oh, okay.
Is this what goes in next?
Milk first.
You want the milk first?
We need milk first.
Now, is this milk and cream that you use, Ethan?
Yes, this is.
All of this in there?
Half of that, because we use half.
Half the butter. Okay.
And this is half milk, half cream. going in.
And we'll reduce that heat down a tiny bit now. So it doesn't boil over. We don't want to scald this stuff, right? We'll just get that blend. Kim, don't say you don't know how to cook. Look at
Kim,
that.
your stirring skills are.
Delicious.
Can I get that face again, Kim? Yeah.
The cheese can go in right away after the milk.
Okay, so here comes the cheese. This is, again, that just starch Parmesan cheese. So now you have that kind of fettuccine Alfredo-esque flavor with that nutmeg. And then you also have the, you know, the creamy cheese. You're going to have the milk, and that cream's going to just bring it together. It's going to be really, really good. But I love that spice that the nutmeg adds to this. And with the carrot, the liquid from the carrot is going to actually cook through the pasta on the bottom when you see how we're layering this. And then the nutmeg is all going to just kind of bring something special to that carrot mixture. It's going to be a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy.
You know what? Nutmeg is found a lot in cream sauces. It's kind of a secret ingredient people don't think about because they've never made it themselves to really see that that's the secret ingredient. So you might find next time you're having a cream sauce, you might pick up the nutmeg or see it kind of sprinkled on top a lot of times. You might see that. So,
all right, now this is the perfect time for me to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something.
Let's get it on camera.
Yeah, no, I'm coming back over there. So the secret ingredient, my favorite secret ingredient. This was a gift that.
It's backwards. You better read it.
They can read it. I'm not gonna. So my secret ingredient is actually mace, though. Nutmeg and mace are in the same family, and mace gives everything, whether it's sweet or savory, doesn't matter. Toss a little mace in it, and people will kind of cock an eyebrow and go, "What is that? It's so good. Something's in there." And don't tell them it's mace. Don't tell them.
Another secret ingredient for Alfredo sauce is if you are making pasta for it. In our case, we're making a lasagna, so there's no like spaghetti or linguine, fettuccine. You can use your pasta water if you end up making it too thick. So if you're using a flour reduction, then you can always add your pasta water right in, and the starch from the pasta water will continue to make it starchy without diluting it too much.
Yeah.
Awesome. How's our sauce looking here?
All right, I think that's looking about ready now, because that's going to thicken up as that cheese melts a little bit more. It's just going to kind of be exactly what we want. So I'm going to turn the heat off at this point, and we're just going to let that sauce sit there. So we can just kind of handle that like that, which is why I have a burn mark on there, because that's what I
that's what happens with that. Okay, we'll be transitioning back to the front. Give us a sec here.
And then we'll come over here and we'll get our whole, well, we should do the pesto next, don't you think? Let's make our pesto.
Oh, pesto
Let's
time.
make our pesto. So I'm going to bring our little food processor over. That's another thing that people are not going to think much about when they're thinking about like lasagna. Why would you put pesto in lasagna? But here to tell you. So show of hands and or thumbs up and or whatever. Who has ever made fresh pasta pesto?
Me. I love fresh pesto.
Okay. And at home, thumbs up from people that are. Does my husband count? Yes. So anybody pesto?
Yeah, 2 thumbs up so far.
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. I like it. Okay, so pesto, you can actually do a lot of different ways. I'm going to do mine in this weird kind of way.
A weird kind of way?
It's a weird kind of way. I'm going to just throw it all in here. So we promised to show you guys how to deal with garlic, but we already have some people in there who've already done like pesto. But just because we said we would, maybe we should show how we do a garlic.
Do you want a spotlight again, Shabli?
I don't know. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Probably not. Yeah, maybe just can we make that show right here?
Yeah, I can. Ready, Ethan?
Okay.
We'll do a side by side.
So you know how to get a clove of
Hi,
garlic.
Mom. Hello, Mother. My mom's in.
Hi, Dawn. Welcome, Mom.
Okay.
So you get it off of the head, right? And you have this little paper rascal around it. Now, there's 2 different ways actually to do this. Has anyone ever tried the bowl way?
I haven't. I never get it right.
It never works for me.
I just smash it. That's my way.
That's what I do too. But they do say, if you put a couple of these in a bowl and then you shake the 2 pieces together.
Supposed to work, or in like a mason jar. Yep. I've heard that, but
and it worked one time for me, but never again. So I think it was just false advertising.
So we're gonna source the smash.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take the side of my blade and smash it. See how I did that?
Beautiful.
And then what that does is it just completely separates the paper from
makes life simple.
Yeah,
I like simple.
I like it when it cooperates too, because it sucks when you're showing and then it doesn't work.
And then, but you know what? That worked perfectly.
It's like computers, right? They don't work, and then the tech guy shows up and it works perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a moron.
Well, good. Oh, we're gonna be mincing. Okay, I'm ready for this.
So yeah, well, okay, I can show you how I mince too. I mean, sometimes I'll take the little dry bit off if I'm feeling.
Yeah, you're talking about the stem.
Yeah, if I'm thinking for other people, but then I might smash it again just to get it really like, you know, macerated. And then I'm just gonna run a knife through it, and that's
one way and then run the other way.
One the other way. And I usually don't worry too much about how minced it is. In this case, actually, because we're making pesto, it's just going to go in our,
oh yes,
it's just going to go in our blender thing here, our food processor. So I really didn't need to do that, but I did show you guys.
That's okay. Just chop all that. So we did that
We'd
for
be
you.
here all night long.
We would be.
That's a lot of wine to drink.
Yeah.
Okay. How much, do you remember how much garlic we have in here, Sarah? We told you earlier.
4 cloves.
Oh my.
4 cloves.
So lots of garlic in a good pesto, I think.
Lots of, that's kind of, there's not a lot of ingredients. So you have to let them all shine.
Here's the real question now. Are you a classic pine nut pesto girl?
Okay, it's a lot of controversy. So I
Yeah,
think
it
it's best with pine nuts. But if you don't have pine nuts, walnuts are great. Almonds are great. I think pecans are a little. You like pecans too? Okay, pecans are great too. I think really any of the nuts are great. I think pine nuts give it the most authentic flavor.
Yeah.
And if you ask an Italian person, they're gonna really yell at you if you put other nuts in there. But you know what? None of us are Italian here, so
They're gonna scream at me. I'm putting both.
yeah, that's it. Throw 'em in.
So now, in this recipe, it's gonna say add the nuts to the cream sauce. I'm gonna tell you a secret. It doesn't matter where you add the nuts. If they're in the pesto, great. If they're in the cream sauce, fine. It doesn't matter as long as the nuts are there. Nice thing about that is that the cheese has protein in it, and the eggs we're gonna put in here is protein, but the nuts have even more protein.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got garlic, we got pine nuts, and then we're gonna put basil.
It looks like you have some parsley too.
I have parsley too, because I like a little bit of bitter undertone to my pesto. So I'm gonna stuff that in there. See?
And you know what? We used 2 packages on our big one.
Did you?
But you're adding
I
parsley
have
this
some
time.
over here already made.
Perfect. Good.
So, we're gonna do that for now. And what I like to do is I just kind of get it. Close the lid.
You want to throw the cheese into with that?
I'm gonna add it in a second when I add the oil. That's how I like to do it.
We're not playing around. We're doing this live.
That's it. Yeah. So maybe let's show them what it looks like at this point. Can
Okay,
you
let me
see
go
that?
on. Should I get up close? How's that looking?
Ooh. Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
it's not like brought together by oil yet, and we need the oil to stick it together.
Yep.
So now let's add the cheese. So this is Parmesan again. Some of that same Parmesan.
Yep.
And also for cheeses in pesto, experiment with goat cheese.
Oh,
I kid you not.
I love goat cheese.
Blue cheese.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Throw some little dried cranberries in there.
Hmm.
I mean,
Really
mayhem.
sharp cheddar. is my
Really sharp cheddar with
Oh.
walnuts and cranberries. And think about those dried cranberries instead of the pesto, and now you have just a whole nother world spinning out of control. Yeah. So
It's gonna be like Hubistan.
cheese,
Spinning out of
nuts, and
control.
anything else
Only
delicious.
Kim likes my joke. Fine.
Okay, so now what we want to do is bring it together. Do you want to?
I will pour. Yes.
That's balsamic. Let's do all the oil.
So we're gonna do about 3/4 of a cup, but we're not gonna measure it on camera for you. We're gonna pour it in, and that's fine. If you want to have it pre-measured into a nice liquid measuring cup that you're pouring in, that'd be fine. But we already have this spouted, so we're gonna take it from there. Okay, it's gonna get loud again, everybody. So.
Okay.
Oh, we were muted. So sorry, everybody. That's
Just
okay.
for the pesto.
Oh, just for the pesto. Good. You didn't have to hear all of our crazy.
Oh, smells so good.
I wish you guys could smell it. I'm picking up the nuts quite heavily. It's really good.
Ooh.
Do you need
Very
a scraper? Scrape it
Yes, I do need a scraper.
Because I have one for you right here.
Okay, so let's scrape that into our already going pesto. I just caught the eye of my dog Henry over here. He's looking at me like, what the heck's happening in here tonight? Why are you talking to yourself, woman?
Oh, that looks good.
Look at that pesto.
Dish out and set it on the counter, please.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's it.
Good, good. We've got our pesto ready. We have our cream sauce ready.
Yes. Are we doing assembly up here?
We're gonna assemble right there. Yep.
Good.
So at this point, really, the only other thing you need to have prepared will be the ricotta. And so what I like to do there is I take whole milk ricotta.
This is just a 16-ounce container you find. That's the standard size that comes at the store.
Yep, and then we want to break 2 eggs into that. And you want to give that a little stir real quick?
Yes, I do. I would love to give it a stir.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'll toss a little garlic in there because we have such heavy garlic in our pesto. We're not going to add more, but if you really love garlic,
We like garlic, so you could.
definitely feel free to do that.
Thank you, side assistant, Ethan.
Kim, you want to come over and help us layer some pasta?
Oh, we like layering.
Yes.
Oh, that is
Layering
better.
is good.
Much better.
Layering is kind of like laddering, right? You guys ever hear us talk about bond laddering?
Oh, are we gonna get into the quippy financial terms?
not I. It just made me think of it. You know,
Bond laddering.
laddering. Ugh. All right, more wine, less bonds.
Okay. If you have questions on bond laddering, call the office. Thank you.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna put just a layer of this is oven ready. I can probably go the other way. It won't matter. Yep, if you have to go to that, that's fine.
Let's see, should we spotlight this, Ethan?
Yeah, probably. This is oven ready pasta.
I'm gonna go on this side of you, Szablis.
Okay. And then we're gonna see these pre-shredded carrots. Now you can buy them or you can make them. In my busy world, I buy them, but certainly you can shred them. So you just want to put like a layer of carrots, and the juice as this bakes is what's going to actually cook that the pasta underneath.
I bet it makes it a little sweet too.
So now what we need to do is add a layer of ricotta. So yep, Kim's getting the full.
And remember, Kim doesn't like to cook, and you know
No.
what? If Kim doesn't like to cook, anybody can do it.
Right.
That's what the
You can
real
just kinda
lesson is here.
We're gonna put maybe probably almost half of it on there. Yep, that's probably good. Yeah.
And did you tell them you're using the lasagna noodles that are
Yep, they're oven ready.
oven ready?
Yep.
Perfect.
And then just put a layer of this stuff on there too. So you grab your pesto, and we're just gonna kind of smash that in there. And then believe it or not, we're just gonna make a big mess of it. And
Oh,
just
good.
kinda,
We like messy.
Yeah, get it all.
It doesn't need to be perfect. That's the best
In
part.
fact, yeah, the more integrated it is, the better, because then you get the carrots and the cream and all that stuff added. Now, we're gonna grab that cream sauce that we made behind us on the stove.
Oh, perfect. Kim's got that.
Yep, because we don't want to forget the nutmeg and the pepper and all that good stuff in here too. So see how this just kind of makes like a carroty, creamy pesto kind of layer.
Ooh, that looks delicious.
Doesn't it? It smells amazing too. Okay, and then we'll just put a little bit of just pour a little bit of that right down the middle. Just maybe not even a third of it, just a little stripe. You tell me when. That looks about right. Good.
Beautiful.
Because then we'll get that in there too, and a little more moisture to go down to that pasta. All right, then we'll put another layer on, and we'll just keep going. You're doing great, Kim. I'm gonna just
Layer,
let you
layer,
keep
layer.
going. Don't tell my husband, because then I will have to cook. We'll make sure that he's blocked from this recording. You have to have a password to enter. Right. So you can do as many layers as you want. I think because we're just showing you how to do this, we're just going to do like 2 or 3, and we'll just.
So our question was, what is the difference between a vegan meal and a vegetarian
Okay,
meal?
so this is definitely vegetarian because it has animal products. So a vegetarian, there's 2 types really. Someone can say they're vegetarian and you don't know, does that mean you don't eat fish? What does that mean? What do you not eat? So a vegetarian who is a pescatarian eats fish, but not chicken or red meats. A vegetarian does not eat anything that had a brain. You want to think about it that way. So shrimp had a brain. Lobster had a brain. Oysters, believe it or not, have some sort of, we'll call it a brain, it's a nervous system. Eggs never had a brain.
Never.
Milk never had a brain. Butter never had a brain. Yogurt never had a brain. Cheese never had a brain.
And we're talking about vegetarians. Yes.
This is vegetarians. So vegetarians typically, that's called a lacto-ovo-vegetarian, which is what I am, and I believe what you are.
I've never
too,
heard
sir.
that term before. Lacto-ovo.
Lacto being milk products, ovo being egg. Yes. So
Anything brown.
so most people who say they're a vegetarian, that's what they mean. They eat egg products and dairy products, but they do not eat flesh products. Okay.
Got it.
Now a vegan typically will mean, and there's different levels of vegan now too, but in general, a vegan does not eat animal products. So they do not eat milk. It came from an animal. They don't eat cheese. It came from an animal. They don't eat eggs. That came from an animal. So if it came from an animal, they don't want to eat it. And some vegans will actually take that even further to where they don't want to use any product that had anything to do with an animal. So,
Oh, beautiful.
so
Just appearance.
no leather shoes. This is Ethan.
Hello.
Yeah, makeup's a big deal for vegans too. Makeup
Yep.
should be
Any
tested
animal
on animals.
So some vegans are very, very sensitive to that.
There's also,
Honey.
ironically not this, but a lot of red things vegans will not do because there's red dye 40, which is
Tested
made
on
from
animals.
beetle
Oh.
carapaces. So
Yeah.
Being
So-
vegan takes a lot of effort and
It does.
patience and reading a lot of labels.
A little more of this. Do you want this in there? Yeah. So for your last layer,
Ethan, am
this
I still
dish.
spotlighted on here?
for the last layer of this dish, you want to put that pasta on top, and then you're just going to put the rest of the sauce. So it's kind of the cap, and we just want to kind of cover it with a sauce, and then we're going to cover it with a bunch of cheddar cheese.
Shibli, if you were,
This with our Alfredo sauce, right?
This is the Alfredo sauce on the top.
I have a question.
Yep.
For
I'm
the
gonna put a
crew.
little more
If we
pesto.
were in a 9x13, I would assume we just probably put the noodles the other direction, and then we do a 3-layer, and it wouldn't be quite as thick, but it would be a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's true. This is a kind of a deep one, and it's going to be just as tasty.
Oh yeah, I think
Um,
either would be fine. Just for you guys to know, you might want to do probably 3 noodles would probably make more sense in a 9x13 versus
Yeah.
the 2.
Thank you, Kim, for
You're
your
welcome.
fabulous layering
Okay.
services.
Again, don't tell my husband, and then I'm
Yeah.
forced to.
Okay.
So then we're gonna just put a really nice layer of cheese, and you could put this all the way through if you wanted to. It depends on how decadent you want it to be. But that egg is gonna really hold it through all the way.
Yes.
So then this is gonna go into, I believe, a 350-degree oven.
Okay. I
For
think I'll
some
put this down
time.
for a moment, Ethan.
And then I'm also gonna show you what it looks like when you get it out. This is what it looks
You want to show the
like.
camera up there?
Delicious.
Beautiful.
So you can see it's a really nice, well kind of held together, just like you'd expect a
Should
lasagna
we
to
take a
be.
piece out of it
I
right
think
now?
let's pull a piece out.
Instant
I
gratification.
think
We
so.
like that. It's 2021. Let's get at it.
Now for this, I think, this has been out of the oven for about a half hour now. So just like any other lasagna, you want to let it cool a little bit so it doesn't melt all over. Yep, I had the big white plate for this. Kim, you want to try some? Sure. Okay. Sarah, you want to also guinea pig with us?
Definitely.
Okay, so you can see inside.
Ooh, it's
Oh,
so nice
that's
and hot.
Yeah, it's very hot, and you've got these delicious layers of cheesy goodness and carroty goodness.
Show it up to that camera up there, the
Yeah,
layers.
here.
Ooh. Hopefully, I wish you could smell it. It smells really good.
You see the steam?
Oh my,
lots of steam. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna put 2 pieces on here. You guys don't mind sharing, right?
No, it's fine.
Okay, so we should let's camera on them while they try
Okay.
this. What do you think?
Here you go.
Guys have forks?
Ethan,
Yes.
spotlight me. You guys are live with.
Oh, I can smell that carrot comes through. It's so good.
It does.
Okay,
smell
we're gonna need a lot of
really
facial expressions so they can
Yeah.
really see how it tastes.
Be truthful. Be truthful. Be accurate
Alright.
for them.
Oh, this is really good.
What are you getting from it? What do you get the nutmeg in there?
Oh, Sarah's doing the happy dance. That's always a good sign.
I'm crunching on a little bit of those walnuts. Is
I
it
am,
walnuts?
yeah, the crunch is good
And to
in
be
there.
honest, I don't like walnuts.
Oh,
These are pecans, so
oh, well, good.
Here we
Even
go.
better.
I don't like pecans either. I don't like pecans either, but they're still
And it-
really, really
and
good.
it's going to fill you up because there's a lot of fiber in there. There's a lot of protein. And honestly, that's why you don't need as much cheese, because you're just not going to fill yourself up with the fat. You're going to fill yourself up with the protein. And you got the carrots for the fiber. It's just going to be really, really good.
This is really good.
We like that. Oh,
Good.
good. Well, then, you know what? We're ready to move on to our next dish.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
I'm gonna finish
Yeah,
this.
you guys finish that.
Yeah, you guys keep eating.